Hello, Craig here. I want to continue to show you just different ways that I use Camera Raw in Photoshop to color correct photographs. This is a photograph that I'm using for a tutorial on my website, how to build a table, excuse me, out of a downed tree. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show the initial find of the lumber, and you can see the photograph. There's a tree right here that's still standing. This one has obviously fallen down in a storm and been chopped up with a chainsaw. But the shadow was kind of cast over these logs. In taking the photograph, I was okay with that because I knew I could still pull out a lot of the detail in here using the Camera Raw filter. So this was taken with a digital camera, digital SLR. It's a T5 is what I have at home. Nice 18 megapixel camera. So it comes in, and you can see this when I open it up, it's RGB, and the file is locked. Excuse me. So I will click on the lock to unlock that background. I will control click on the layer to convert this to a smart object. And now I will apply the filter of Camera Raw. Now the reason I made it a smart object is because I want this to be non-destructive, so the Camera Raw filter will apply, but it will be a separate filter that won't harm the original photograph. And I can always go back in and re-edit that if I want. So traditionally when I take a photograph like this and I want to open up these shadows, I will start with shadows. So there's no magic to this. You just open it up, and you can see as I do this, I can go all the way to 100, which I really probably don't want to. Maybe we'll go like to 90. And that really opens up all the details in the shadow here. You can see there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of good detail in this photograph too. So now I think I lost a little bit of contrast, so I'm going to drop the blacks just a little bit, and you can see how it just puts the blacks back in, but it keeps, maybe we'll go like 30 on this one, but it keeps the detail that I was wanting in here. I can also bump up the contrast a little bit. Not too much though, I might just go like a 5. Just to add a little more of that contrast back in. And then you can adjust the highlights. Open them up just a little bit. What I like to do is I like to look at the whitest spot here possible. And then look right up here in the RGB values. Watch this, because when I hover over the white areas, if I ever see that 255, that means that I've blasted it out to completely white. And I don't want that. So if I zoom in here real close, you can see I have blasted some of this out to white. And I see 3 255s on the RGB scale up there. So I want to back off a little bit with my highlights. And you see put some of that information back in there. It's still a little bit white. Part of that may have been, let me just pull the white back all the way. Now there's a 1 or 2% in there. Let me pull the contrast back just a little bit and see if that adjusts for that. Some of that is still blasted out, and that may have been in the original photograph. That's really not adjusting the photographs, or that's not adjusting the highlights, sorry. I was just making sure that I could keep some in there. And that's all right. If there's a little bit, some of this may have been blasted out to white, just along where the sun was reflecting. But looking at this, I'm really happy with the way this is looking. I can also increase the whites just a little bit if I want to, just because I want some contrast. Even if this does go to pretty close to white, I'm getting 249, 254. We'll try 20 here. And then we'll try, I always like to bump up the clarity a little bit. And that tends to just give it a little more punch. Look at this, especially the grass, the contrast and clarity in the grass. And I'm also watching the bark here, the difference in the bark as I go and increase this. So we'll just move this up maybe to like a 15. Not too much, we don't want it to look too stylized. So if we click down here on our Y, we see the before and after. And as I zoom in, you can see how much nicer these logs look. We have a lot more of the information showing up that we wanted to see in these logs. And it looks like a better photograph. So I'll simply click OK. And now you can see the before and after, before and after. That looks like a better photograph. And as always, this is non-destructive, so you have a filter down here applied to the smart object. You can always turn that off and throw it away if you want, or you can apply it and use this photograph as is, which I will on my website. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more tutorials here, I also have a lot of tutorials over on craigkuntz.com. So go there and check out tutorials on graphic design, woodworking, and web design. Thank you.